Hi, I'm Jamie Ruby from Sci-Fi-Vision. Thanks so much for talking to me today. I appreciate it. Really enjoyed the series.
Thank
So,
you.
to start, how familiar were you with this story? Obviously, I had not heard of it because I'm from the United States, but I'm assuming you probably had.
No, I had never heard about John Stonehouse. I remember speaking about it with my parents when I was auditioning, and they remembered it really clearly. It was a massive thing at the time, but it's not really sort of stood the test of time. And a lot of people my age had never heard of him, which is interesting.
All right. Can you talk a bit about the audition, kind of how that process went for you?
Yeah, so I got sent through the audition through my agent, and immediately I was like, "This sounds great. It is such a crazy story. I love the character. I love kind of the opportunity to alter my voice and my image as well. So that's always a plus." And then yeah, as soon as I met John Baird, our amazing director, I just knew I wanted to be a part of it because he was so enthusiastic and so keen to tell this story in a new way and bring it to a new generation. So yeah, I was very keen from the off.
All right. This is your second project, at least in television and movies. So
Yeah.
was that kind of a shock to all of a sudden get? I mean, this is a pretty big part. You've got pretty much a leading role in it. How was that? I mean, is that nerve-wracking or is it just really cool? How does that kind of feel to you to be like that?
I mean, a real mix of both. Yeah, it's my first major screen role and only my second TV job. So it was a real kind of, like baptism of fire. And obviously, before I went into it, working with Matthew and Keeley, these incredible actors who I've admired for such a long time, was quite a big thought. But it was just great to work on, and everyone was so supportive and just it was so much fun. It was such a fun atmosphere to be in. So I think the nerves went away quite quickly, and I just had a great time. So
Yes, it
the
does look
dream
like it
job.
would be a fun one. So
It
what was
was.
your preparation like for this? I mean, I know it's alive. Did you talk to her or did you just watch videos? Kind of like how did you prepare?
Yeah, so I didn't speak to Sheila, and I think even if I'd had the chance, I probably wouldn't have done. Just for me, I was very kind of clear about it being a version of a
Mhm.
character, and working with the script rather than trying to make a sort of documentary
Right.
piece. Um, for the voice, I did watch a few videos of her. There's not much footage, but just to see how she sounded. But I'd actually already auditioned by then, so I kind of
Oh,
got the voice.
sure.
And beyond that, I did read about that period, just sort of get a sense of what that time was like and what was happening in the country. But so much of it came from John Preston's script. Like he just gave us so much to work with. So there wasn't a lot that I needed to do really, other than do what he gave me.
Was it hard though to keep the voice, I guess, because I would think something like that might become a habit and something, I don't know, hard to get into and maybe hard to get out of.
Definitely hard to get out of. I still kind of in the back of my mind will like translate everything I read into the roticism. I personally love working with different accents and dialects, so that was just a gift for me as an actor. And a nice way to kind of just get into a different character's head, really. But yeah, very addictive, and it sort of spread throughout the crew as well. We couldn't stop doing Sheila's voice by the end.
Right. What did you find the most difficult though to do in general?
In terms of the character.
Yeah, just
I suppose there's a lot at play with Sheila. She's at once innocent and also very knowing, and at times you really think that she's the one kind of in control of the situation. So I suppose finding a way to show all of that contradicting sort of energy within one person, which was challenging, but a really nice way to lift her from just a sort of one-dimensional character.
what part of her, I guess, was the easiest and the hardest, like of her to connect with, if that makes sense? Like, what part did you connect really quickly with, and what part was it harder to get into?
I think there's a lot of her that's quite sort of open, like she's quite sort of childlike in a way, which I love to play. I love to play those sort of quite sort of honest, innocent sort of characters. And I guess the hardest bits was when you see her against Barbara, when all three of them are together, and kind of finding that steel, when up till that point she's been sort of a little bit innocent and naive. So yeah, I think finding that contradiction was the biggest challenge, probably.
Can you talk a bit more about working with Matthew and Keeley on this?
I mean, like, what a dream. They are so amazingly talented, and I just, try to just take notes for the whole process on like how they work and how they are on set. But just so much fun. They have so much fun together, and that's really infectious. And they're always looking for ways to lift more humor out of the scene and to find little moments that aren't scripted. So it was just surreal to get to do that and to work with a couple that are married is always a brilliant dynamic. But it was just a heap of fun.
Considering that this was your second project, did you learn anything like acting wise that you took from them?
I think, I mean, both Matthew and Keeley have such freedom. Their no take is the same. They're incredibly amazing at working with the crew and making sure that like everything's good continuity wise, but they're so fresh and they're so kind of alive. And they have a real, yeah, sense of freedom with the script. So I think I really took that on board and just will bring that sense of kind of fun to all my next projects, for sure.
Is there something maybe that Sheila taught you about yourself that you learned?
Oh, I think that you can be quite underestimated. I think a lot of people would write Sheila off as just a sort of naive young woman, but actually, she had some real guts and inner strength, I think. So I definitely I feel a lot of sympathy after spending a lot of time with her as the character. I think, yeah, grit for sure.
I was going to say, now I'm sure the costume probably, and you kind of touched on this a little bit, but probably really helped you to get kind of into her. Can you talk a bit about that?
I mean, it was such a treat just because the costumes are just gorgeous and it's the era that I really love. So I working with Guy, our amazing costume designer, was just brilliant. And he really had to stop me from just stealing all of the clothes because I love them so much. And it was really helpful because we moved through such a long period of time as well. So it was a great kind of quick way in at the beginning of each scene to be like, okay, I've got my knee-high boots, we're in the 1960s, or it's just a very quick sort of shorthand into a character. And I really felt like I had the wardrobe of a real person by the end. So yeah, it was
Yeah,
great fun.
great costume for that one. So do you have a favorite scene that you can tease a little bit without giving too much away?
Oh, well, there's some great moments when Stonehouse is eventually caught and Stonehouse and Barbara and Sheila have to spend some very awkward time
Yeah,
together.
fight.
Um, very tense, but really fun to film and just completely ridiculous.
Right. Well, do you have anything else kind of on the horizon that you're, because I know this obviously aired over there a while ago. So do you have anything
Yeah,
else?
it's actually so it's not too long ago. It was only a couple of weeks ago. So
Oh, okay. I didn't realize it was that soon.
yeah. So stuff in the pipeline, but yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, great. Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. And yeah, I enjoyed it.
Thank you so much. Nice to speak with you.
All right. Have a good day.
You too.